welcome back to another James Bond review video. This is episode number 9, Man of the Golden Gun from 1974. That man who just got shot there was also the villain from, not a villain, but a character from Diamonds Are Forever. I did mention that, so yeah, anyway. So this is of course the main character and the opening scene. The opening scene does naturally include James Bond, which is of course Francisco Scaramanga, played by Christopher Lee, so it was a pretty big kind of, dual film of Roger Moore and Christopher Lee. Roger Moore was 47 years old as well when this film came out, so as we said, second film in, he's already 47 years old. He doesn't age a lot, Roger Moore. By the time he gets to View to a Kill, he definitely does look 58, but you get the point. He's very good to kind of maintain the kind of young role as Bond. This is his only second film. It is found out that Scaramanga's next victim is Bond when he gives a golden bullet with his 007 number on it. M, again played Bernard Lee, tells him that James Bond basically needs to go almost undercover and try and find Scaramanga before Scaramanga finds him. The whole plot to this entire film is just based around, two characters, James Bond and Scaramanga. That's the entire film's based on. Of course, the entire Roger Moore 7-film series, his 7 films he's done, does not include Spectre in any way, or even the Cold War conflict between Russia and the United States of America or Britain. It is literally just individual side films, which I actually do quite enjoy, which of course made him so popular as a Bond character. That girl there is supposedly 002, the man who just got killed his wife, and the bullet inside her belly button is the bullet that was made by Scaramanga's golden bullet. So James Bond tries and retrieves it so that he can find Scaramanga easier. Again, Q of course returns yet again as the same character. He's been for the past 9 films, which is always good. And that there is Nick Nack, played by Javier Maracheves. I'm pretty sure he was, I'm not quite sure what kind of actor he was, but yeah, Nick Nack, he definitely is a kind of famous kind of Bond, main henchman kind of thing, next to this villain of course, Scaramanga. He is definitely a well-liked character. Strangely, it does literally just cut to ninjas. That's in the film. I'm not quite sure where they go from such a dramatic cut, but you get the point. One of Scaramanga's other henchmen wants to kill Bond in, what other way would it be in, I guess, the Kingdom of Siam, through ninja warrioring and death by stabbing. Again, this is one of the rare moments in James Bond where there is, knife, blood. Typically isn't that violent, in terms of, blood and gore, so that's something to remember. At this point it really doesn't look how James Bond can win, but of course James Bond can never die until No Time to Die, but we'll get onto that much later. And he literally just manages to jump out of the building, about a 20-foot drop, without even getting injured. Not quite sure the logic of that was, and all of them now need to die. Not quite sure why. He's kind of achieved his role and objective, and then they just literally forget to pick him up in the car. There's definitely some areas of improvement for this film, but no, I do definitely quite like this film. They are made by the same producers, Live and Let Die, and this film, Man of the Golden Gun. I personally prefer the Man of the Golden Gun, but that's just my own personal opinion. After finally getting a boat he finds to work, and goes extremely fast, to be fair I must say, another actor actually returns to James Bond, which is J.W. Pepper, of course played by Clifton James, who is, one of the Bond actors. Of course Jaws appears in both, with Spy Love Me and Moonraker. I must say, he's probably slightly better in this film, J.W. Pepper. He's still quite annoying, just a typical kind of, what you would expect for a 1970s Republican American anti-communist to be in a place like Southeast Asia. But no, he isn't as annoying as he is in his other films, so that's at least some kind of improvement. We then get the main action chase in the film, which is, of course, a car chase. This is one of the films, well, big films, kind of a Bond, if you like, where James Bond doesn't at all have a car, and then he kind of just stole that car from a car rental shop that J.W. Pepper was at. So it would be quite nice if the Aston Martin made a return in this film. I must say, Aston Martin making a return in this film definitely would have really kind of filled in the gap. But, well, I mean, the Aston Martin doesn't really show much in the Roger Moore, 1973 or up until 1985. It is kind of just kept when Spectre's on the screen, which, like I said, Spectre does not at all appear in this film or all of any other Roger Moore film. Oh yeah, I deliberately played this clip again a couple times because, like I said, I have to actually say, in real life, that stunt was actually performed by, well, stuntman obviously. However, it did only take one shot, so that was all filmed, first time lucky, which is, a pretty good story that I did in there. So Scaramanga then, with of course Mary Goodnight, the Bond girl, Mary Goodnight, played by Britt Ekelund. That's a Swedish name, although she does do a very good English accent. She's flown away with, of course, the disc, the memory disc that Scaramanga uses to blow up. Well, it's a laser that he uses to kill and blow up things. And then his kind of bigger secret plan is announced to the world. A pretty far-fetched one. I mean, it's all about using the energy of the sun to maintain his power, and he can literally destroy anything with the energy from the sun. With, of course, that ray beam there. They didn't actually edit in a ray for that scene. They probably should have, but they didn't. I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, the scene still works. Just would have been nice to see a bit more editing from the producers. Scaramanga and James Bond then publicly announced to each other with Goodnight, although eating their lunch, that they are going to kill each other. It's so calm that it almost gives it a kind of sinister feel. It's kind of like License to Kill vibes. Another quite a violent Bond film that we'll get to, of course, in the future. So Nick Nack counts to 20, and James Bond and Scaramanga prepare to kill each other, but of course Scaramanga escapes, and we get the final climax of the film. So Nick Nack leads James Bond into the kind of like movie layer that we saw at the start of the film about how they get some kind of person, or well, one of Scaramanga's hated victims to get killed in a very long and arduous way, when I don't get how Scaramanga can't just kill them in the first place. But anyway, I have to be honest, it is a very, very, very good scene, and it does work well, very well, kind of like top 10 best kind of Bond climax scenes, because that's the thing. It's only two characters, but I mean, quite frankly, well, plus Nick Nack, quite frankly, that's all you need for a scene like that to work. It's just, pistol dueling it. Very good stuff in terms of cinematics. So as James Bond is trying to deactivate the laser, Goodnight leans up against the button which activates it again. She's a pretty good Bond girl. She doesn't really do too much in the film. That doesn't really matter. This is, of course, the best, by far, probably one of the best fight scenes. I absolutely love this fight scene between Nick Nack and James Bond. It is choreographed so well, and yeah, it is really quite funny and really good humour. I mean, of course, Nick Nack being about 2'8",